Hi, I'm Jackie Porter. I'm the group manager of Verify. I'm joined here with Parker Ennis, who is the product marketing manager over CI/CD here at GitLab. And we are here to discuss the positioning and marketing for the whole ops section, really, as we start to think about fiscal year 22. Well, to kick off, I'd like to give an introduction of what this presentation will be over. We'll give a brief overview of what the ops section is, the Verify group. We'll talk a little bit about the current feature set, dive into the new feature reference, and then we'll talk a little bit about overall group positioning and give you a bunch of details around fiscal year 22, the vision, what's next, and what's later. So overall, the ops section is comprised of release, configure, monitor, and the verify stage. We have a lot of details around what these different visions are, but the primary function is to help teams release their code and to monitor that code into a production state. If you have any questions about internally, we have all these different Slack channels, so please reach out to us. We're definitely eager to help you out. This particular session is about the S-Verify stage. So to dive on in, it's composed of the continuous integration team, which is made up of the continuous integration and merge trains categories, the pipeline authoring group, which is made up of the pipeline authoring category. We also have the runner group, which is composed of the GitLab runner category. And we also have the testing group, which is composed of the quality, code testing coverage, load testing, web performance, usability testing, and accessibility testing categories. If you have any questions about what each of these different categories are, this deck will be shared out, and you can definitely follow along on these different direction pages and handbook pages to dive into these issues or documentation pages. I wanted to also give an overview of the teams and who owns them. Sometimes in this asynchronous environment, you don't get an opportunity to meet face-to-face with people. So I wanted to give a little snapshot of who these teams are and who leads them. So the continuous integration team is led by Tao from the product management side. She pairs with Vitica on the design side and Cheryl and Sam on the engineering management side. On the pipeline authoring team, we have Dove and Nadia partnering together from product management and design, as well as Cheryl and Sam on the engineering management team. For runner, we have Darren and Hyana partnering closely together to ensure our users and design experience is high quality, and Elliot championing our engineering management experience. And then on the testing front, we have James Heimbuck leading the product management design and product management vision, and Hyana leading our design experience, with Ricky leading our engineering team forward. If you ever want to meet out with any of these people, just schedule a coffee chat with them. Everyone's super friendly and really interested in connecting with you. As a quick overview, this is a current offering of our most used features across the Verify team. Each of these features are linked to the documentation page. So some of them include like our GitLab YAML reference, as well as pipelines, the CI linter, which is a part of the pipeline authoring group, environment variables and environments, which are spanning both the release and the verify stage. They kind of get used in both areas. Job artifacts, which are used out inside the whole CI/CD lifecycle. And of course, pipeline efficiency and test cases, which are all about the whole life cycle of how people manage their pipelines and run pipelines in the CI use case. If you have any questions about any of these features or who owns them or any other details, or you're interested in submitting an MR to make the documentation better, please ping the S-Verify channel. We also wanted to highlight some of the newest improvements that we made to the syntax references. We've added this table to highlight some of the functions and purpose and challenges. Customers are always looking for additional changes and improvements to the YAML. as you may know, we've added cross-functional additions like the release and secrets keyword to support things like secrets management or being able to release from the YAML file. And it's a great enhancement to allow a better reach from the YAML, but there's also some nuances in that experience. So definitely want to hear your feedback on these new additions. Continue to engage with us as you start to see users use these different additions. We also have some great highlights. Of course, 2 of our more upvoted issues were implemented recently in fiscal year 21. We've also seen some great engagement on DAG from the needs functionality. We are investigating ways to improve, given that in this chart, you can see it's one of those functionalities that has some of the biggest challenges related to it. So please engage on that issue if you're also one of those users that's facing those challenges, or your customers are. Testing has received lots of feedback on finding ways to increase and enforce test coverage in their projects. So you'll start seeing more of that in fiscal year 22. And then lastly, we've announced some new pricing tiers in fiscal year 21. So we'll start to see some customers engage on that differently. Well, this was the overview for this presentation. I'm going to pass it over to Parker to dive into our product market fit and fiscal year 22 go-to-market strategy.
All righty. Thank you. Get the screen up here. And we should be ready to go. Thank you for collaborating on this, Jackie, and looping me in. And I'll set the stage here pretty briefly, give a high-level overview of alignment to the market and our go-to-market strategy for fiscal year 22. So I want to start out with some market themes and listening to what the market's saying and understanding it, right? Because the market's always speaking. So over the past year or so, we've talked to analysts. This comes from thought leaders, customer calls, et cetera. So I'm not going to point you to one report for all of this, right? But I think these are pretty commonly understood themes within the market and how they relate to our product themes for the ops section. So cloud native, right? We've got it's the new norm, and so this relates directly to speedy, reliable pipelines and our emphasis on smart feedback loops this year in the product side of the house. And it's important because with this proliferation of interconnected pipelines, speed to market has never been more important. And so it's going to even the playing field for enterprises to better compete. And it's going to be a crucial part, as we continue to deliver software and applications. Cloud native is going to be playing a bigger and bigger role. Intelligent automation, I like to think of it as smart automation, or sometimes like smart CI/CD. Obviously directly relates to being able to have speedy, reliable pipelines as well for that theme. And it also goes to our developer efficiency and productivity. So very directly linked with making sure that you can scale, you can deliver quickly and deliver high quality. Then we're also seeing this trend of platform consolidation, right? Whereas just a few years ago, it would have been thought as not as feasible to consolidate and to look at a less is more kind of concept. But now we're looking at by 2023 having 40% of companies moving towards consolidation. So that's a really, really startling statistic when we're at about 10% today. And so we're going to keep seeing this ops for all concept come through consolidation as well. And that aligns really, really well with a lot of our values, right? Unification, making sure that we can have adoption through usability, making sure that a path is easy. And then obviously reducing the complexity, something that we're very familiar with here at GitLab. So when we're listening to the market and we're looking at these themes, it's also important to understand, the role that Verify plays. And I think it's really cool to look at Verify as an integral part of turning these challenges you see here on the left into opportunities on the right. When we look at Verify aligning to the market, the work that you do and the work that's being produced by the Verify team is going to directly impact everything from migrating and being able to use this cloud native or going SaaS first, right? It's going to make sure that you can deliver speed at scale. And it is going to reduce that complexity and make sure that adoption is easier. So just another way to present those themes, but to show the impact that Verify has and the work that's being done and how we're going to turn that into the opportunity on the left and then market it and use these motions on marketing as a vehicle. And also I wanted to set the stage a little bit with reconciling the product market fit with how we view product here internally at GitLab. So we talk about our stages, our groups, and our categories, but customers use different language and they use market language, right? So we hear CI, we hear CD, we hear CI/CD is the overarching bucket within the market. And so this is the familiar language that the customers use, and the things that attract budget, for the problems that they're solving. And so just wanted to say quickly that Verify Stage aligns best with, the concept of CI in the market, right? That automating builds and tests, right? To replace the manual work. And so I wanted to set that stage, and then of course package a release are there to complete the CI/CD market view with how we view it. But important to know that we can reconcile what we talk about with CI/CD in the market with a lot of the work that Verify does and how it directly aligns with the market view of CI. And finally, want to talk about the go-to-market motion for fiscal year 22, directly linked with OKRs and executive sponsorship, and a more formal plan to go and execute and be the DevOps market leader, right? And so that aligns very well with Verify's 3-year goals of being the CI/CD market leader. And so what we're going to do here is we're going to land with CI/CD. Obviously, Verify plays a crucial role in the work that's done there. We're going to expand with Ultimate, things like DevSecOps, et cetera, premium to Ultimate plays. And then we're going to eventually be the market leader. And what we're doing is we're using 3 go-to-market motions. You'll see CI/CD, DevOps Platform, and GitOps on the left as the vehicles to deliver this value. And the affiliated sales plays you see from left to right in that top bar from CI/CD are going to be something like upsell, quarter premium, Jenkins takeout. These are things you're familiar with. These are competitors, these are plays, and these are things that are going to help enable our field and equip them to go out there and win. And then the timing is to be determined on these, you'll see, but this is how we're going to operationalize and take action and go to market with Verify and the work that you're doing. And this is going to involve everything you see on the right as well, from personas to content journeys, to messaging, positioning, et cetera. And so a really, really cool vehicle to deliver this. And you may have been familiar with our use cases that we did last year. So those aren't going anywhere as of now, right? They're still here. They're going to be rolling up and feeding into this CI/CD motion. And so both the CI use case, the CD use case, or DevSecOps use case, for example, will all roll up to here, and we'll be going to market in this fashion.
The fiscal year 22 go-to-market plan is really well complemented by our fiscal year 22 vision for Verify. We have the 3 themes of operations for all, speedy, reliable pipelines, and smart feedback loops that are balanced and complemented by the plays that we're looking to accomplish in the sales side of the house. And you can go to the next slide.
Cool. And with these plays, it's important to highlight some of our differentiating factors where we have a competitive advantage. Some of these things that Verify impacts and makes possible for us to go out and say, hey, this is where we're better. This is why we're special. This is why we're unique. And so with that, I want to highlight just 3 points that are really, really powerful in the land of CI and in the land of Verify, right? So when we're thinking about positioning and going to market, we always want to leverage the fact that we have leading source code management, CI, and code review in one. And you'll see that directly aligns with a lot of the work here, but that's really powerful. And that's something that only we have. And then also, of course, a guided single path production to production. It's something that can be difficult to achieve, but I think it's something that most, or if not all, organizations want to achieve. And with this complete DevOps platform as a single application, it makes it much more feasible and much more easy to accomplish that and have one single secure path to production, or one pipeline kind of to roll them all is the way I like to think about it. And then, of course, security and compliance is always going to be important, and even more so at the enterprise level, which we're focusing on heavily as well. But we want to talk about that built-in security compliance, not just there, but it's shifted all the way left, right? So from idea to production, you're ensuring that your code stays secure and compliant all the way through that process. And then after production, it doesn't stop either, right? We have things like DAST and review apps together that can make security really, really powerful and is very unique to us as far as value and differentiating value. So a few things that are really helpful to position us in the Verify area.
You're so right. We're going to use all of those different components and differentiators to inform our user stories that we build with jobs to be done. And we're going to focus on really specific personas to enable our stories inside of fiscal year 22. And as we start to concentrate on those particular stories, we're going to shift a little bit away from Sasha, which has been our developer pain points, to transition to different roles. And Parker, I think that you probably have a little bit of a stronger insight into where we're going to be focusing on. So I'd love to hear your insight on that.
Yeah, and happy to throw some resources into the notes here in the slides. So if you come and reference these, you can check out some more details about personas. But yeah, three main user personas that we focus on. We've got software developer Sasha that you mentioned, right? Always going to be crucial. Think about less disruptions, more coding, and then our dev lead Delaney, right? Also a very crucial persona here. Obviously thinking about deadlines, team efficiency, productivity, right? Has a lot of influence in decision-making, whether it's a technical decision or a purchase decision. And then Devin, the DevOps engineer, right? I like to think of it as kind of the support between the tooling, assisting teams, can be almost a jack of all trades, right? Understands the systems, the tools, can squash some bugs, can write some code, that kind of thing. Very important that we shift and focus on them and leverage their position within the organization. And then the buyers, right? App dev managers and app dev directors, right? The people with either the purse strings or the influence on the economic and the technical side to make sure that a deal can get closed, right? And so really important and different needs and requirements and pains for these personas that we can hone in on and make sure that we leverage going through this motion.
Perfect.
And finally, for me, just to close this little intro section out, I think we're on a continuous journey for more of this, right? This is just a great example of logos that are saying exactly what we can do and provide for them, and positioning us in the way that I think is completely accurate, true, and what we want more of. So on a continuous journey to have more customers speak to us like this and leverage our product and what Verify is producing so that we can have a lot more meaningful continuous integration.
I can.
Back to you.
Yeah, do you want me to share from here? Okay.
Gotcha.
Perfect.
There you go.
Beautiful. So for the next couple of sections, we're going to discuss some of the core functionality across the team, and then we're going to talk about the market and product themes and what we're going to be focusing on in fiscal year 22. So continuous integration, as mentioned before, Tao is leading this team alongside Vitika, Cheryl, and Sam. They are focusing on items like merge trains, which help keep your main branch green and help keep your teams running as fast as possible. We also focus on building functionality across artifacts and variables. It's really important that we keep pipelines flexible and manageable for your teams. A big focus for CI in fiscal year 22 is stability and making sure that our core offering is running at top speed. So we are going to be investing in tech debt and bugs and optimizing for that reliability, which I think will lay a great foundation for some of our go-to-market sales plays.
Hit the unmute button. And to continue with the themes, right? Squashing those bugs and reducing the tech debt, I think, is something that has been a long time coming, right? It's really easy for that to get in the way of other things. So that'll be really good. Optimizing speed, reliability is another big theme for our CI group. And then adoption through usability theme, right? Make sure we have a lovable UX and that people can use the product. And the plays on the right, you'll see that align with the go-to-market motions. Our CI area, of course, naturally aligns with the CI/CD plays, and it's really going to be have a lot of potential to fit within all of these, right? There are features that we can definitely leverage in functionality for Quarter Premium. Jenkins is a direct competitor. GitHub, the same thing, and then of course Bitbucket, right, on the SCM side that feeds right into a lot of the work that CI does. So a lot of opportunity to leverage and use the sales play as a vehicle for this work.
Awesome. Our second group that we'll be talking about is pipeline authoring, led by Dove, partnering with Nadia on the design side and Cheryl and Sam on engineering. They are primarily focused on thinking through modeling complex relationships in the YAML file and pipeline as code. So when you think about pipelines, parent-child relationships, and multi-project pipelines, but also the pipeline editor visualization is one of our most recent features, as well as modeling with the needs relationship. So thinking through how do we enable customers to build relationships and reduce waste in their pipelines, making them faster than ever. We also want to help them have better visibility and building out all of their stages in their pipeline into a single graph. Also making sure that their developers are working as fast as they can and testing the validity of their YAML files in GitLab in a single place before committing the changes by leveraging something like the CI linter. We want to reduce friction of all roles. So our top vision and focuses, as well as product themes, are to enable this operations for all and to make sure that we're reducing friction within teams, but also empowering that speed and efficiency by keeping as many roles inside of an organization inside of GitLab as we can. We're doing this by iterating on our pipeline builder and continuing to add additional functionality with job templates and adding improvements to the CI linter.
Yeah, and I think the continuous integration area with Tao's team and the pipeline authoring area with Dove's team are extremely important. All of the verify areas are, but these are particularly important for the land and expand play, right? So all this work and making sure that ease of use is good for even the novice user or the more technically adept user or advanced user have a great experience and they have a lovable first run. And not just getting to that first green pipeline quickly, but keeping it green, right? That I know you mentioned earlier. So this goes a long way in our efforts, downstream as well, to make sure that experience is good, that we can land and we land strong and have that foothold, and then we can expand. And so lots of plays apply here for pipeline authoring from CI/CD to the Jenkins takeout to the upsell as well for some of those premium features. And
I'm really excited about this slide, obviously, because I jumped to it early. So Runner is our next group. Darren Eastman and Ana Vermicio are the teammates partnering on this team, and Elliot is the engineering manager, as mentioned before. They are primarily responsible for this Runner technology landscape. They are the engine underpinning our CI capabilities, and as you can see, they're a vast offering of all the different capabilities that are powering our CI across all the different capabilities that we have inside of GitLab. What's even more important is that we're looking at adding additional functionality to, again, empower teams to deploy when and where and build however they want, especially on the cloud. So Mac OS is a priority for this year. Also, sticky runners is going to be another one of those priorities that we see in first half. Again, making sure that they can take advantage of auto scaling on .com whenever and wherever they want to. It's really important also that we think through how groups access runners and making it easy for jobs to follow process queuing efficiently and effectively with speed, and empowering administrators and owners inside of GitLab to effectively customize and protect and tag their runners inside of GitLab is another advantage that we're looking to expand inside of fiscal year 22. Given that we have functionality today, making that experience even richer is a priority for us. I think that we have a couple of different themes that we're looking at in the go-to-market side, but we need to improve the usability. It's really a good balance as we look across core or free runner capabilities and balance it with the enterprise capabilities that we're looking at adding. And of course, Mac OS and Linux and Windows runners, making sure that they are performant and scalable across all of the different functionality is a priority for us on the Verify team.
Yeah, I think very, very well stated. And since you set the car analogy, I'll come in and spike it. I think Runner, is like a Dodge Ram truck is to Hemi engines, right? And so Dodge trucks have these huge Hemi emblems on them because that engine is so important to their brand and to that truck and to the value of that vehicle. And I think Runner is the same thing for us, right? It is a incredible engine underneath the hood of GitLab. And it does, it's the gatekeeper for our incredibly rich features. And so we want to make sure that we have, a seamless experience. It's very, very usable, and that we can scale without complexity with Runner, right? So, multi-platform, multi-language, all those kind of things that need to be supported, so that you can scale and do it efficiently, are things they're working on. And then obviously feature parity between self-managed and a SaaS first approach that we're taking is also very, very important, so that Runner can be equal and be equally loved in both areas. And so that'll be leveraged in our sales plays from CI/CD, something like Jenkins Takeout, where we can talk about infrastructure and job execution and where we do it better, things like auto scaling, right? And then something like GitHub Compete, where we can also go head to head with some things that make us special in what Runner's doing.
Absolutely. I think that this is a really great advantage for us to leverage, and I'm excited to see our features start to shine in the market. Last, but definitely not least, is testing, led by James Heinbuch and partnering with Hyana and Ricky on the design and engineering side. They're primarily focused on code coverage, which is around saving time for teams as they build in this code quality and code testing coverage functionality inside of GitLab. Baking in that smart feedback loop between teams, making it even easier for like that Alex and Dakota persona to make smart, informed decisions about code quality inside of GitLab. But that's not it. That's not only what we do in testing. They also have unit testing, which is one of the most common methods of testing code inside of pipelines in GitLab. And what's even better is that we have a report as well as using the functionality in merge requests. So if you don't use merge requests, you have another option of using unit tests inside of GitLab. We also have other functionality around testing for developers. So if you're using web performance or browser performance testing, we offer that functionality. We have an immense amount of breadth coverage around testing capability, which is unparalleled across other CI/CD tools. Not to mention, we also offer load performance testing to ensure the testing performance of your APIs and microservices at scale, all from the merge request widget. So you don't have to leave your screen as a developer. It's all right there in one place. Even team leads who are doing merge request reviews are able to not context switch. They're not having to go between different testing platforms to view performance changes between web performance and load performance, but they're also able to see accessibility testing from the merge request widget. So it's all packaged in one place for GitLab. Again, an immense amount of breadth. And even though we haven't necessarily dug another level deeper into the amount of depth across all these areas, given that we're focusing on that code coverage level right now, it's great that we're able to have all of these various areas of testing in a single place. It allows users to have all areas of their code tested by GitLab invisibly shown in the merge request widget. We're able to use testing as a great landing platform for users to see visibly how is their code quality, their code health over time. We're looking at enhancements in fiscal year 22 to improve that visibility at the project and group level. And what's even better is that this is our investment category for premium to even ultimate tier value. So we're really using this as our lever inside of the product management theme for our paid users. What's even better is that we're also looking in the future for enhancing reporting capabilities around unit test reports and continuing to add value around other testing categories. We're seeing usability become an even better investment, prioritizing usability inside of GitLab is a top priority across Verify. So we're still seeing that in the testing category as well. I see this as a really great complement to the go-to-market plays. Parker.
Yeah. So yeah, testing, we have such a wide, breadth and depth of testing capabilities, right? And we're moving really quick. So I think it's important to also note that we can draw up excitement in the market, I think, for what we have done and what we're going to be doing with testing, and how quickly we're moving and how quickly we're maturing things, and things that our customers and our audience needs. So testing is going to be something that I think will be really, really interesting. And I'm looking forward to seeing how it aligns with our sales place, and it can really fit within, I think, any of those up there, right? And even something like a premium to ultimate that you mentioned, Jackie, right? Which isn't in the CI/CD motion per se, but it is in the DevOps platform motion. So even maybe some cross collaboration there to leverage some of these testing capabilities. And I like to think you can't have speedy, reliable pipelines if you don't have speedy, reliable testing either, right? So really looking for deeper insights and results into how we test, and making sure that code quality and coverage is mature and providing a lot of value. So exciting.
Absolutely. Great summary there. Well, to wrap this up, looking ahead into fiscal year 22, we're doing some exciting things. We have links to each of the roadmaps, which are issue boards that highlight the quarterly investments. And some of the areas that we're looking ahead into are like runner enterprise management, which are premium investments in addition to code coverage for groups on testing. But also the big focuses for CI in the back half of the year after we improve our stability and performance will be around the fit and finish of merge trains and improving the debugging and analysis of pipelines. So we're really excited to begin that journey for the pipeline improvement. And then pipeline authoring, it'll be really great to start seeing job templates and the template experience come to life after pipeline builders and the pipeline authoring experience becomes more viable for our users. We're also starting to dive into our cross-stage research around the next generation of CI and what that could look like as we start to pair together things like the 5-minute app, the auto DevOps journey, and how we want to see CI have a reemergence with some different concepts in the market, especially as we start to think about proactive notifications of pipeline failures or flaky test detection. There's a lot of exciting things that we can start doing with GitLab once we start building on top of a really stable foundation. We're definitely excited for fiscal year 22 and cannot wait to start shipping more exciting features.
Thanks for having me on, Jackie. I appreciate it.
Yeah, this is a really great partnership. I'm very excited. Thank you.